Hello, my name's Jason Bing, and I'm the new host for Season 2. We're here with Dejan. Dejan, thanks for coming out and telling us your story. You get a Raw Deal t-shirt.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So tell us a little bit about your story. What happened?
Well, we went on the internet to purchase a used car.
Okay.
The car only cost $800, but I still wanted it. And I called this place Florida Cars USA in Miami, Florida. So we go ahead and we pay the
So you researched them online first? Did they have a picture of it, or?
They had a picture of the car, almost every part except for, you know, a couple minor little issues.
Okay,
but
no problem.
everything was pretty legit far as, you know, me looking it up on the internet and everything. It was a good price. Told me it was less than 100,000 miles, so I was with it. So we went ahead, we sent a cashier's check down there, paid for it and everything, so they was trying to get it delivered, but due to money issues, we couldn't afford to have it delivered, so it was cheaper for us to just go down there and get it.
Okay, so how'd you get down there?
We took the train down there. When we get there, we went in there and talked to the people about the car and everything, and I noticed some things on the car, so I asked some questions about it. They was like, our mechanic is gone and all kind of stuff, so I was like, well, this piece sitting on the car, what is that? I don't know. We could have the mechanic check it out another time or whatever. Let's get the deal done and everything. So I'm keep messing with the car and looking it over, but it was running and everything was good. But
so when you started looking at it, it was already running?
Yeah, well, I cranked the car myself. I cranked it up and just let it run, you know, just to make sure everything was right. Pop the hood and look around. After that, we did the paperwork, and we left. They put the paper tags on, we left. We go right down the street to the gas station. We get to the gas station, I fill the whole tank up. After I fill the tank up, we tried to crank the car again, and it didn't crank. So I'm like, something ain't right. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kept on trying to crank. I was like, do I need to jump or what? So I called him. I called the dude, Steve, down there. So Steve comes up there, helps us out or whatever. He tries to get it cranked with those electric jumpers. So
okay, jumper cable kind of thing.
Yeah, so he used that. The car still didn't crank.
So how long were you at the gas station?
We were probably down there waiting probably about, I know, an hour, probably about an hour.
Okay, so then what happened?
I went back and we was like, so what we supposed to do? Because we come down here, we let you know, we was coming from Orlando to Miami to pick the car up, and we just expecting just to get the car and go back. We already didn't have enough money really to make, you know what I'm saying, to make the trip. If that was the case, we could have just got the car, you know, shipped up there to us. So we was like, we don't have that, you know, enough money.
Right, you're not working, so you don't really have the money. Because what you're telling me is the car isn't going to be ready now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and he was like, well, I have somebody. It's the solenoid. So he was like, well, yeah, it's just a $20 part. He can do that tomorrow, whatever. So I was like, all right, what we supposed to do tonight? We don't have no car. We don't have nowhere to stay. So me and her, we walked, and finally, by the grace of God, I found some way for us to lay our head. It cost us $100 for that. Stayed there. The place had roaches. It was terrible. We spent the night. I called the dude that next morning when it's checkout time. Called him to find out if he already made it to the place, because we looked on the thing, and when I looked at it, it said the place wasn't even gonna be open on that Sunday. So he was like, yeah, I know the dude or whatever. So I asked him, and he was like, no, I didn't make it down there yet. So we called a cab or whatever, get down there, another $30 to get back the way the car was. And we get down there before he get down there. So finally, he comes, he tries to crank it up, the car cranks. I'm like, look, if it's not that solenoid, which I told him at the gas station, if it's not the solenoid, I don't want the car, because the car needs to run right. We'd have been out here all night. We ain't had nothing to wash with, no money, no, you know what I'm saying? So we pretty pissed off now. We was like, look, we're gonna have the car tested out when we get back to Orlando. I need to get back. I was like, my fiance irritated, she wanna go home, so we leaving. Whatever it is.
In the car.
Yeah, so I told him, I said, well, look, I said, whatever it is, if it's the solenoid, the battery, or whatever, I say, just take it off for the money that we owe for the tags, because we still had to pay $400 and something odd for the tags here in Florida.
Right,
so
transfer or something.
Yeah,
like
so he was like, all right. So we go ahead and we leave. We stop the car. We made it. We made it back home. The car cut off right. We got to Advanced Auto Parts. Go in there, the dude comes out. We on the phone with Steve again. The people test the battery out, and they was like, well, the battery good, the alternator's good, the starter's good. We was like, well, what wrong with the car? Why is the car not cranking? Because we tried to crank it up at Auto Parts and it wouldn't crank. And he was like, well, the battery's reading good, so we can't transfer the battery out for you. And Steve, that was Steve was trying to do at the time.
So is that the first place you took it, or?
Yeah, that's the first place we took it. Then I said a couple days later, one of my friends, he introduced me to another mechanic, found out that the brakes was gone on the car. We made it, changed the brake lines out, that was $200, but he couldn't figure out what it was. We got somebody else to look at the car again. They did a full tune-up on the car and everything. The car still did the same thing.
Still wouldn't start?
Still wouldn't start. I'm talking about, man, I had to push it. We go to Walmart, have to sit in Walmart parking lot for an hour to get groceries because the car won't start back for a full hour. Everywhere we go, we have to leave it running if we just go be in there for a second, because if we cut it off, the car is not gonna crank back up, you know, for a given amount of time. So
then what happened?
Then after that, like I said, we went home, and after we got the car checked out and everything, I was tired, you know, so I was getting people to look at the car. Nobody knew it was wrong, so I called the dealership to try to get them to help me out. Like, look, all I want you to do, he said he was just gonna take off whatever we paid for it to take off the tags. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with the car. I want to keep the car, you know, it's not a bad car. I was like, it just won't stay, like when I turn it off, it won't crank back. While it's running, it'll run good, but you know, that's irritating when you can't go and come as you please. That defeats the purpose of a car. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So I'm like, look, just help us out, figure out what's wrong with the car, and that's all. I don't want to try to get no lawyers or none of that involved for $800. She was like, well, we have $10,000 cars on our car lot and so. I'm like, look, I don't care what nobody paid, because if you come to me with $5 or $10 for the same job, I'm still gonna give it 100%. Whether I ask you for $5 or for $10. You feel what I'm saying? You just don't treat people any kind of way, and I feel like they were just running over people to get people money. I'm not asking you to paint the car and put rims on it and nothing like that. I'm asking you to help me make sure this car is running how it's supposed to run. You know what I'm saying? Because if I pay $800 for it, of course, if y'all got $10,000 cars on your car lot, why couldn't you have a mechanic fix it before I get down there? When I already told you I'm coming from Orlando to pick the car up on the train, I don't have no money. Why would you even put us through, you know what I'm saying, through all that, especially after we done come down there, stayed in the hotel, and you put us through all this. The least you can do is help us make sure that the car is running good. You feel what I'm saying? But
I feel you. Well, Dijon, thanks for coming out and telling us your story. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And now it's up to you to vote on who you thought got the Ross deal. Is it going to be story number 1, story number 2, or maybe story number 3? The choice is yours. Go to myrawdeal.com and vote now. I'm Jason Bing. Thanks for watching.